Not gonna lie, this is not my first cup of coffee. Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Heather and as always I'm reading with a vengeance, and as always I hope you are as well. This is a tag, a book tag. I don't think I'm going to be actually posting it on Tuesday, Book Tag Tuesday, because it's a little bit different than your average tag. So this is the Booktubers I Love tag. I wasn't tagged by anybody. I actually I was mentioned, I say just, but not just. I was mentioned in this video, this tag by Lauren over at Paperback Empire. I absolutely love her channel. If you have not watched her channel, please go on over there and check her out and give her some love because she's lovely. Anyway, she mentioned me in her video. I'll link her down below. And I just, of course, was inspired by the sheer feeling behind the video. I started this channel because I absolutely love to read. I love books and I love to talk about books. And when I discovered Booktube, it didn't take me long to think, hey, I want to do that. I think I could do that. And it turned out that there's some folks out there who enjoy the books I read and enjoy hearing about what I have to say, which is great, and that has fueled my love for doing these videos. I initially started watching Booktube to find books that I wouldn't normally have found otherwise, but then I discovered that Booktube is a community. And once I started my own channel, I started to pay a little bit more attention to the Booktubers themselves. And I started to actually connect with them. I started to engage with them and I became somewhat friends with some of them. And I've discovered in this connection that this is a community where we encourage each other and we lift each other up. And that has been an additional joy to doing this channel, one that I didn't expect. I will say to many of you, most of you who are watching, who don't do a Booktube channel of your own, but you come here for the book content and you want to, find out about books that I've read or want to read. I do apologize that there isn't any book content in this video, but I do want to take this time to say how much I appreciate all of you because you are the reason why I'm still here. You encourage me every single time I post a video and you reach out and you comment and like and just engage in one way or another. Or you might tell your friends to watch my videos. That is all very much appreciated and a big thank you to you. One other little side note that I want to add, I could easily put every single Booktuber that I watch. I enjoy every single one of you. You know specifically who you are because I have connected with you in one way or another. I've either done a buddy read with you, I've commented on your videos, one way or another. You know who you are, but then there might also be a lot of other Booktubers that I watch that don't know that I love them, and just know that if you're a Booktuber, I appreciate you and I now understand what it is to be a part of this community. So if you are a Booktuber who I have connected with and you find that you're not mentioned in this video, please don't take it personally. I did have to condense it in answering the actual tag prompts. And while there isn't any book content, perhaps you're on the lookout for a new Booktuber to watch. So hopefully you'll find somebody to discover and start watching. So let's get started. There's not that many prompts. I think there's only like 6. The first question is, who was the first Booktuber you subscribed to? And that's really easy. I don't know how I found her. It was just by mistake, but the very first Booktuber that I subscribed to and I still watch on the regular, and I've watched with the exception of, I don't typically watch vlogs. Anyways, is Lauren in the books. I love her personality. I love her energy. She reads a ton. She reads a myriad of genres. I think it was because of her that I learned about the Women's Prize for Fiction, and that's why I started following it this year. When I found her channel, I went back and started watching her from the very beginning. So I've watched all of her videos, like I said, with the exception of vlogs and stuff like that, or non-bookish content, which she doesn't have a whole lot of non-bookish content, but you get my meaning. She was the first one that I subscribed to, and she was the reason why I ended up subscribing to so many more and finding so many more. Question number 2 is, who was the most recent booktuber you subscribed to? Okay, yes, I found her out totally by accident. So this person had mentioned me in her video probably, I don't know, it's been a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months, and I didn't know about it until I went into kind of my YouTube studio and was looking at comments, and there's another tab called mentions, and I went back to look to see if I had missed anybody, and I came across her mention. And so anyways, she is Charmaine's Staycation, and she's got a lovely, lovely channel. I think it's fairly new, but she basically gave me a shout out as someone that she recently discovered, and so she gave me a shout out, and it was great. And I watched a couple of her videos, and she's got this great energy. She's so much fun, and like I said, she does a regular video where she'll shout out new to her booktubers. So check her out. She's great, but she was the most recent booktuber that I subscribe to. Question number 3 is, name 3 booktubers you love / want to give a shout out. Okay, so this was difficult. There are so many booktubers that I absolutely love. So what I did was I took all the names of the booktubers that I watch on the regular, and then I condensed it to the booktubers that I like reach for first, and there were still quite a few. And then from that group, I picked randomly. So these are not the only ones I love. These are not the only ones I watch by any stretch. These are just the ones that were randomly selected from my list of booktubers that I love for this question. And that is Jem over at Bookish Gems. Love her channel. I love her snarkiness. I love how she laughs at herself. And I love the books that she talks about. Really great channel. The second one is Kate Crafter. Now, I have mentioned her before on this channel. I don't know why she doesn't have tons and tons of subscribers. Maybe it's because she doesn't record, I think, as often as the average booktuber. But Kate Crafter is hilarious and super smart. She's British. I might be biased towards British booktubers. What else about her? Oh, she's got a very eclectic mix of books that she reads. Books that I've never heard of, authors that I've never heard of. She also talks about the shows that she watches and the movies that she watches. So she does have some non-bookish content, but I really, really enjoy her wrap-ups. Finally, the third one for this question is Ella Reads Books Like. Another one that she doesn't record as often as I think the average booktuber. She's lovely. She's young, she's bubbly, she's sweet. I can tell she's very genuine, and she reads a decent mix of books, and I just enjoy listening to her stuff. Question number 4 is, if you could meet one booktuber right now, who would that be? I couldn't just come up with one. There's probably about 25 that I'd really like to read, but I had to come up with two that I absolutely would love to sit down and have a cup of coffee with, and that is Emma over at Book Break, and she also has her own channel, Drinking by My Shelf. And then the other one that I just think she's lovely, and I think we're kind of in the same generation, and she's Southern. She reminds me of my husband, and that is Leslie over at The Nerdy Narrative. I think she is just lovely. She's got a fantastic channel, puts out a lot of content. We don't really have a whole lot of similar reading tastes. There are some things, like she's a big Stephen King fan. She reads horror, she reads fantasy, sci-fi. She's really into those. And while I don't dislike that genre, I don't read as much of it as she does, but I love her reviews. Her reviews are super thoughtful, and she just seems like a hoot of a lady that I would just love to hang out with. Question number 5 is, who is your favorite YouTuber who is not a booktuber? So, funny story. One of my hobbies, well, I have 2 main hobbies. One you're very, very aware of. The other hobby that I am just about as obsessed with as I am with books and reading, and that's knitting. When I picked it up, I became absolutely obsessed with it. Once I started knitting, I also discovered knitting podcasts, if you can believe it. There's just as big of a community in the knitting world as there are in the book world. My favorite knitting podcast was Chevy Rell. Chevy Rell is her name, and she is just so much fun to listen to. She is a prolific knitter. She is very much into the whole knitting community. I don't watch knitting podcasts as frequently as I used to, but I still watch hers fairly regularly. Go check her out. She's super fun. And the 6th and final question is, tag 14 booktubers, or just mention some folks you like. So 14 is, like Lauren said, oddly specific, but in the interest of keeping it to a manageable number, and if I don't know, just keeping it to a manageable number, I am going to keep it to that 14. And again, I did the very same thing that I did with the previous question, is I took all of my booktubers that I absolutely love, that I watch on the regular, just drew randomly. I just don't want anybody to think that I snubbed them. If you're not mentioned in this video, it doesn't mean I don't love you. Anyways, here are those booktubers that I drew. Alex Nieves, I love his dry sense of humor. He's got a very thoughtful way of talking about books. And come to think of it, the majority, if not all, of the booktubers that I absolutely love and watch on the regular, they've got a specific energy, or they're sassy, or you can tell they're being themselves. They're being natural. They're not trying to be what they think their audience wants them to be, or all of those above qualities. And then the other thing is, they have very thoughtful things to say about the books they read and the books they talk about on their channel. So you can pretty much say that about all the booktubers I'm about to mention. So anyways, again, Alex Nieves, Shar over at Thoroughly Enjoyed Books, Chloe Frizzle, she's a hoot, love her, Elizabeth at Reading Riley, Emily Jean Blatt, Gemma over at Gem of Books, Gloria Z. Thompson, Diane over at Green Eyed Monster Review. She is relatively new. She is fairly new, but she's got a decent amount of content. Jack over at Spread Book Joy, Kristen of Enter the Book, Marley at Marley Reads a Lot, Miriam Elizabeth Reads, Nikki at Red Dot Reads, and Steph at Steph Loves. So that's it. That's the Booktubers I Love tag. If you're a booktuber and I have connected with you, you know I love you. I'll repeat that here. Like I said, I wasn't tagged in this video, so I'm not going to tag anybody, but if you were mentioned in this video and you feel so inspired like I was, please feel free to do this tag. Like I said, this is a community. This is where we lift each other up and encourage each other to keep doing what we're doing, especially if we love it so much, which we do. If you're still watching at this point, please consider giving that like button a boop. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're not a booktuber yourself. I appreciate you. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.